Right, good
Are
evening,
we live?
everyone.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
I
can hear you,
disconnected for
Mitoe.
a second.
Oh, no
Okay, we're
worries.
good now. Okay, now we're live. Okay, good sign so far. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I guess welcome to the end of the first tournament of the Grand Tour that started last weekend. We're going to be casting the Grand Finals now. I am, of course, Mitoe, and this is the Castet, um, or Guigs as he's now known, I suppose. And yeah, going to be between Kaiserklein and Ezad.
Yeah, any clue on what we could expect from these two well-known players?
Uh, I think I think I have a few predictions that I could throw out there. I mean, we know we're gonna see French and Germany from Kaiser. That's a given. I suspect we're gonna see some Sepoys from Ezad at some point. Maybe some town centers along with them. I think those three things are a guarantee. The rest, I'm not 100% sure about, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't think you're taking many risks there, but yeah, let's have a look. All right, let's jump into game number one in this best of five Grand Tour finals, and yeah,
Okay, first game between Kaiser and Ezad gonna be on Great Plains. It looks like. With French being the civilization of choice for Kaiserklein, spawning to the south of the map here, and British for Ezad. Makes a lot of sense on Great Plains, lots of hunts. British seems like a pretty good counterpick to French here.
yeah, totally agree. It's in my opinion the best British map. It's like there's no huge stagecoach that you can take. There are good treasures in the middle of the map, a lot of hunts, as you were mentioning. You also have Cheyenne native trading post and Comanche that you can get bisons from. So yeah, a lot of tools for the British to do stuff.
Yeah,
Kaiser.
one thing. Sorry, go on.
No, it's just mentioning Kaiser starting with the trading post and mining a bit of coin. So wouldn't be surprised if we would see a market later on.
Yeah, that looks like he's planning to build a market and buy some wood. We don't know if he'll get hunting dogs with that yet, but he'll definitely build that market anyway. It looks like.
Yep, looks like it. He's at researching hunting dogs. And I work on a nice 60-foot treasure as well. It's not the biggest treasure you could pick up on this map, but definitely a good addition.
Yeah, you can never complain about food, especially with British. One of the things that I often find when playing Brits is sometimes it's a little bit hard to get in that age up at the time that you want. Like British really like to age a villager earlier than most civs, and that food will really help him be able to do that.
Indeed. Looks like Kaiser is going to pick up nice 80 wood treasure as well. And he's a little bit short, perhaps. So he's going to buy wood still. And I guess just bank that wood and gather for hunting dogs, actually. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, and each one with trading post plus market for the French player. The greediest opening possible, really.
Yeah, that's a really good start for Kaiser. Of course, we'll have to wait and see if he has any idle time on his town center. He's definitely not going to be getting a third, a 13 villager age up. It's going to have to be 14 with this greedy of a start. Um, but yeah, I mean, with the hunting dogs and 3 CDVs coming now, he should be able to get this age up in mostly idleless, which should be really strong.
It's gonna be real close. You can see he's gathering around about 700 food per minute. So yeah, by the time he finished that villager, he should be really close from an idle age up.
Yeah, so he might have like a little bit of idle time, like maybe 4 or 5 seconds, but with the extra resources that he'll be able to collect in transition to the commerce age, that could give him some more aggressive options.
Agreed. Meanwhile, we
And one
see
thing,
Ezad is aging really fast there, 15 villagers.
yeah, that the market start with British is one of the fastest, and along with that food treasure he got, definitely helping him a little bit there. And something we were talking about earlier with British was that, yeah, I mean, this map is great for them. There's tons of hunts. The hunts are really big. You know, there's the Cheyenne for later, so when they run out of hunts, they can kind of like replace them for a while without switching to mills. But this map is very open. Like, there's a lot of angles to attack from and a lot of places you have to defend. And Ezad's doing a really good job right now of setting up these manors on the outskirts of his base so that he can spot any attacks coming in from those directions.
Yeah, it's always good to use them for better line of sight and spot the incoming attacks, as you were mentioning. So with this 14 CDB age up and the fact that British is aging really quickly as well, do you think British is going to get the upper hand at age 2 and kind of dictate the tempo of the game?
I guess that depends on Ezad and what kind of build order he chooses to go for and how greedy he chooses to be. But to be honest, with Kaiser kind of having these extra resources, with having the market a little bit earlier and stuff, I don't really expect British to be able to get like an advantage aggressively from this early age up. Just because even though Kaiser's aging slower, those extra resources are going to help him to get things like, you know, maybe an extra Hussar out, or maybe like get those villager upgrades a little bit more easily and stuff like that.
Yep, totally agree on that one. You could even like go quite aggressive and he's dropping an extra 100 wood. So, you know, this would open a possibility that he's going to actually drop 2 military buildings instead of 1 right after the age up. But we'll see what he decides to do. He's at outpost in base.
Okay, and no military building yet for Ezad, it looks like. Just trying to build as many manors as possible, so this is definitely a little bit greedy. It could pay off. I mean, he does have a lot of hunts, pretty safe under his TC. He's got a lot of vision going down, especially with that new manor going up in the middle, so he'll be aware of any attacks Kaiser goes for, but he really does need to scout Kaiser's base to figure out what's going on, and that is exactly what he's doing right now. His explorer is on the way, just to see what building is going up.
Yep. And I believe Ezad might have just missed that, but barracks in base for the French player. Oh, second barracks actually going up.
2 barracks. It looks like it's gonna be dual racks musket to start, and then probably follow up with 700 coin to age. And with, you know, like those extra resources, you might be able to get out a few more musketeers. Normally, when you do this kind of like a musketeer semi with French, you really like can't push all that much because you're kind of just like 1 or 2 muskets short. But he might actually be able to get enough this time to actually apply a little bit of pressure as well as save up for the age up.
Yep, totally agree on that one. Looks like Ezad's been training pikemen because, well, he didn't really scout what Kaiser was up to.
Yeah, so. he just didn't really scout, and so he's just going for the pikes to like try and defend these exposed vills from Hussars, but these pikes are not actually going to be very useful because Kaiser's not making Hussars.
Yeah, indeed. Although, good thing going for Ezad is he's been going really greedy so far. It's only 614, he's already on 100 mana population. So yeah, his eco is gonna snowball pretty quickly. But on the other hand, looks like Kaiser is gonna go for this big XP treasure, and doesn't look like Ezad can do anything about it.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a really nice treasure for Kaiser with this semi-FF that he's planning to do as well. But Ezad's sticking around. He's going to try to steal it at any rate. Like, he might lose his Explorer and stuff, but he's going to make it a little bit harder for Kaiser at least. But yeah, the reinforcing batch of Musketeers is not going to make it easy. But there's a lot of hit points on this Explorer. He might actually be able to take it. No, that's just going to go down. Kaiser being patient, not killing the Guardian right away. And maybe Ezad being a little bit too eager, trying to get his own crack shot in there.
Yep, good steal attempt for Ezad, but not gonna go his way, unfortunately. Some longbows being mixed in now, so he should be able to defend this musketeer pressure.
Yeah, the problem is Kaiser is gonna be sending 700 coin now and saving to age, and he's gonna be up pretty quickly potentially. He's still sitting on that shipment for some reason. Maybe that's because he just got it from the treasure and he just hasn't taken the time to send that yet.
He hasn't been collecting the crates.
It's actually already in.
Yeah, it's really smooth build order so far from the French player. Unfortunately, he wasn't gathering the crates, so his reinforcing batch of
Well,
muskets is only going to be 4.
yeah, I mean, he doesn't really need to gather the crates, I guess, because he's just gonna save the food to age, and he doesn't have the food to age just yet, so no real like loss there. But yeah, I mean, with this many musketeers, like Ezad has to be a little bit careful. He's gonna go for his own age up behind this as well, probably sensing that Kaiser is probably gonna do that. But he's just got less units at the same time, and it's also going to be a slower age up. And there's no trading post or anything, so he's going to have less shipments. Kaiser's going to have like 2 shipments available the second he ages, so it's
Yeah, and
not looking like an easy push to defend in early fortress.
definitely. Also, Izet doesn't have the greatest eco. I mean, he did go really early on with the 100 pop of manners, but now he's on 120 and he skipped the 5 villager card as well.
Yeah,
So he's only sitting on.
he was actually sending that 5 villagers, and it looks like he cancelled it to send the 700 coin instead. And that's probably the correct decision. If you age too late, you'll just die to the Falcons. But yeah, it does mean that his economy is a lot weaker than British would normally like.
Yeah, totally. 26 villages for French player compared to 36 for the Brits. So pretty similar economy. So both players aging at the moment. Kaiser training more muskets, and he's got the wood stacked up to upgrade them, I assume. And 2 Falconets is going to be his first shipment. Looking to put some pressure on with those. And follow up
Yeah,
with 1k coin, so could we see an
1,000 coin
industrial?
is interesting. That could, yeah, I think you're right actually. That he's just gonna push with 2 Falcons, and behind it, he's just gonna age. So he's gonna make maybe one more batch of musketeers, switch everything to food, and then just age behind this push. And that's, I think, a really smart decision. Um, with that extra shipment that he has available from that 320 XP treasure, that makes um, this whole build like a little bit easier to pull off. And the timing's going to hit just in time when Ezad's aging. He's going to be able to do a little bit of damage, force Ezad to make units himself, and then he's just going to back up and, yeah, go industrial. And that, yeah, this seems really scary.
Yeah, definitely. The push is coming. See, French is on 40 musketeers, upgrading them to veteran while they're on the way to the British base. And yeah, 1,000 coin behind, but he's still chopping a lot of wood, so we'll see if he actually decides to go industrial or if he's gonna perhaps chop more
Yeah,
for an
I mean,
artillery foundry.
yeah, that's the other option, is he could maybe even just buy a couple hundred wood, get that artillery foundry down.
Yeah, the Falconets and packing and veteran musketeers coming in just in time.
Yeah, and it is going to be the industrial age from Kaiser. He switched all of his vills off of gold onto food. 1,000 coin is now in, and yeah, this is looking like a really smooth build from Kaiser. You hear a lot of people talking about how bad French is sometimes, but then you watch someone like Kaiser play them, and you're just like, wow, like how did he do all of this?
Yeah, it's like 40 veteran musketeers and 2 Falcons timing at
Like,
10 minutes, and
yeah,
then
like
I'm gonna be industrial in 2 minutes. What you gonna
he's
do?
gonna be industrial. He's gonna send 1,000 wood, so he's gonna have resources for like guard muskets, maybe even a second town center if he really wants one. Um, yeah, it's just really strong. But he's not taking any risks here. He's just gonna force the defensive play out of Ezad. But interestingly enough, Ezad's stacking a lot of food himself. I don't know if that's just Miss Macro, or maybe he wants to start getting a bunch of musketeers. He is researching veteran musketeers, so I assume he is going to add more, but he's not training any more units, it looks like.
He's adding second barracks now, yeah. So perhaps he's gonna look forward to spend these extra resources, or perhaps he's just gonna gather everything for industrial.
No, he's pushing right away. I mean, I think he must have seen Kaiser's deck, right? And like with Kaiser like not pushing the issue in early fortress here, he's probably figured out that yeah, Kaiser's probably going industrial.
Yeah, still gonna be quite tough for Isa to push into these bases. So many muskets, and the thing is, Kaiser's going industrial, sure, but he doesn't have less units than British. If you look at the armies, there's 20 longbows, there's 15 muskets, and some H2 pikemen that are not super relevant, and the artillery count is the same, but Kaiser is engaging with the engineer now, so he's gonna get 2 extra falconets as soon as he reaches industrial.
Yeah, and he's going to lose some houses on the front here. His villas have to go gather resources somewhere else, but ultimately not a big deal. But Ezad might actually be backing up here. We saw he was stacking resources before. Okay, no, it doesn't look like he's saving for an age up, but he's not pushing the issue.
Yeah, he's gonna be popped as well. Okay, dropping some extra manas now, but looks like it might be one of the situation where you age because you're just popped, basically.
Yeah, it looks like he is aging. Like he had a musketeer in queue right there for a second, and then he canceled it. And yeah, an H-up kind of seems like the only thing he could be doing. The problem is, like, what do you get from aging in this situation with British? Because your guard upgrade, yes, it's 10% stronger than the French one. Also, he has no cards in his deck. Your musketeer upgrade is stronger, but it's also a lot more expensive, so it's going to be very hard to afford that. But yeah, I mean, looks like maybe he's decided not to after all. A little bit of indecision. So it's going to be 10 more muskets. He's got the artillery founder down. Surely you start training columns now.
Yeah, for sure, but I don't know. I wouldn't like to be British in that situation. Like, you have less artillery, French can just send full culverins, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Such a good card.
Yeah, you don't have to build the artillery foundry, and it's such a good card, value-wise.
Yeah, it's 2,000 resources. That's really good. Like, on average, the value of an industrial engine is 1,600, and this one's 2,000. And yes, it is specialized, so if your opponent doesn't have cannons, they're completely useless. But against British, you know that they have to make cannons in this situation. They really don't have a choice.
Wow, look at that. It's 14 minutes, he's got 53 guard muskets, 4 falconets, and 4 culverins on the field with 10 more muskets on the way.
And he's been the aggressor most of the time as well. You know, there was the one moment where Ezad had the opportunity to push him, but he didn't really take that opportunity as much as maybe he could have.
Yeah, it's like he kind of missed his window a little bit. I'll see how he plans to hold that. Oh, coverings going forward, gonna react just in time.
Just 2 culves, though. It's so rough, too, because the French player ships 4, and like you need like 5 or 6 culves to beat that. And Kaiser could even add his own artillery foundry right now, and just start getting like the Culverin Royale upgrade and the field gun upgrade.
Yeah,
Probably doesn't have the wood for that, but
that'd be so good. The thing going for Ezad is he's got the defender advantage, so he's got the extra line of sight that Kaiser doesn't have, because there's no church on the field, you know, no artillery upgrade. But still, it's gonna be really tough for Ezad to hold that push and trying to out micro on the artillery war. Does he have more covering in queue? No, he's training falconets.
Minutemen being called just because the town center is going to go down. And yeah, the army is just a little bit out of position here.
Yeah, wow, huge volley. There's so many muskets. Even if he somehow manages to clean the artillery, and looks like he is doing really well on that front, already killing 2 calls for basically the price of none. Still, it's H4 muskets, and these guys are no joke.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Kaiser. Behind this, he's probably setting up factories, really getting that economy rolling. Yeah, is that the first or second factory that he's sent?
He is the first.
The first one.
Yeah,
like behind this economy is going to be very strong as well. Not the best cannon control actually though from Kaiser.
Oh yeah, actually really nice split from Ezad, and he's gonna lose the course in the muskets, but he managed to deal with the artillery quite well, bro.
Yeah, that's really surprising from Kaiser, losing all those cannons for free, despite Ezad having, well, not for free, but losing all of those despite Ezad having less culverins to start. So that's a good hold from Ezad. He's still in a bit of trouble with this raid going on at the back and like losing that town center, and Kaiser has the freedom to set up these factories and stuff. And of course, Kaiser's got guard upgrades, so I don't think Kaiser's going to mind too much about that loss. He can send heavy cannons with this next card. He's switching his factory to heavy cannon production as well, so things are looking
Oh
good.
wow. Yeah, definitely. Did he do much damage with that raid? He must have, because Ezad is on 47 views right now, and he used to be around 60, if I'm not mistaken, like a couple minutes ago. So, you know, he's gonna try to go for some Sampu Konku tactics right now, building TCs, trying to multitask a little bit, keep Kaiser busy.
Yeah, and this town center, it is going up at the corner. It is defending some resources, but Kaiser has units there, and he's going to be forced to run away from this army, and he will spot that town center going up.
For sure, he's gonna see
Although,
that
to
he...
be honest, this town center, like, there's not, like, Kaiser can push this town center, and it looks like that is what he's doing with the bulk of his forces on the middle of the map. But there's no villagers here for Ezad. Like, all the resources for Ezad are actually on the other side of the map. So in a way, this town center is kind of going to buy him some time.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like Kaiser is gonna try to go for a town center himself, but too late to the party. He's already securing the map with an outpost and an additional town center as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
1,000 coin from Ezad as well. Probably going to need to add more culverins to deal with those heavy cannons.
yeah, probably. He's taking a lot of resources, so let's see how he decides to spend that on. Kais, though, made 3 more coverings, upgrading them to coverings royal as well, and got heavy cannons on the field. 2 of them and the third incoming anytime soon.
He's even getting amalgamation. Okay, and looks like Ezad just resigns there. Just determines that he's too far behind. He's never going to get Industrial Age in the stage of the game. And yeah, Kaiser just playing a really clean French game.
Yep, very good build order execution. And not leaving much space for Ezad to do anything. Have a quick look on the post-game graph. Wow, you know, when French is ahead in resources, that, yeah, it's not looking good at all for the British player.
Yeah, and that difference is mostly just the extra shipments that he got from the trading posts and that treasure and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Sick military unit count. It's quite close for a while. But Kaiser just has better
There's
units basically with the guard upgrade, and you know, he's at that like a few pikemen,
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, the pikes and the longbows. Like he has 3 units. One of them isn't very useful, and he can't afford to upgrade all of them.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Ezad did lose a lot of villagers in these raids, and when the TC went down, might have lost a couple as well.
Yeah, not being able to train villagers either just puts you further behind.
All right, so it's going to be 1-0 for Kaiserklein in these grand finals. Won the One Sub Cup, hosted by Isak TV. So it's going to game number 2. So Kaiser has to pick first, and Ezad will go with the counter pick. And it looks like we're gonna get Russia versus Hausa. Interesting on parallel rivers as well. I believe this is the first time we see that map in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't know how this matchup plays out because Hausa can play pretty aggressively if they want to. Like maybe you don't build a forward blockhouse in this matchup as Russia.
I have no idea on how this plays
I
out.
I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that Kaiser's gonna 17 village and build a blockhouse at home, but I could be totally wrong on that.
Okay.
My
That could,
assumption is that you have to respect the possibility of that that like tower rush that Hausa can do with the early raiders and stuff. Like I think the raiders are probably really good against Russia.
um, what stats they have? Are they like good cav or like average like Cossacks or?
I think like per cost they're pretty similar to like a Hussar, but the difference is that they use siege damage instead of melee damage. So like Ruskets are already like not the best against cavalry, but when the cavalry is also ignoring your melee resistance,
Oh,
maybe it's a bit hard. I don't actually know. I mean, like I've never actually seen or played this matchup before myself.
okay. Well, I guess we're about to see. He's dropping a couple of buildings at home. Livestock market going up. Granary as well. And
Yeah, and getting all the goats too
yeah, that's a lot of livestock already. I think a couple
makes
more.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense to pick Hausa with all the goats. It looks like Kaiser is actually going to catch some of the goats in the middle. So not quite all of them are going to be going over to Ezad.
Yep. Nice steal for Kaiserklein. It's just 3 more to be picked up on the top of the map. But yeah, as we were
Yeah,
mentioning, it's really nice to pick a sieve that can actually use livestock really well, and also having that high speed hero in each one to pick them up as soon as possible.
yeah. And yeah, it looks like it is going to be the. Oh, sorry, I'm totally wrong. I thought it was going to be the 1010 from Ezad, but he did actually just build a house. So, going to train a couple of extra villagers. Not going to be rushing the age up quite as much as I initially thought. Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay, he's gonna eat the goats. Yeah, he will. So you were also wrong about the 17th villager.
Ah,
Villager age
I'm
up.
I'm I'm so dumb.
Nice
But yeah, he's
prediction,
not.
but yeah, doesn't sound really Kaiserish to go for 17 bills Russia.
I mean, he definitely does it after
Okay,
the
maybe.
buff to the train time. I'm sure that he's done it sometimes. But yeah, maybe just not the thing to do against Hausa, where I don't think Kaiser understands the African civs and as well as other civs. So maybe he's just not taking any risks at getting like caught off guard. Um, so he's just like, yeah, I'll just age up faster. That is a little bit more flexible. And if Ezad tries anything funny, I'll be a little bit more able to respond.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just going with the like most standard BO you can do with Russia, 14 villager, H up with the market, and looks like he's sending 2 villages forward as well.
Yep, so there is going to be that forward blockhouse going down.
Wonder if he's
A
just
lot
gonna go
of
with the Hausa Kingdom card. I think I've seen a lot being shipped in transition for people wanting to go a bit greedy.
yeah,
Definitely
I
not a
think
bad card.
it's a good card, but when you don't have a trading post near your town center, like you kind of want to fit the aura of the university in between both the town center and the trading post, so you get extra influence income. But there's no extra trading post near his TC, so he's probably not going to go for that this time. He's also against Russia, and he's not going to have a shipment when he ages if he sends that card. So
Right.
looks like it is going to be just constructing that university by hand. He's got a lot of villagers on gold as well, so he's probably going to be going for an early outpost and getting those outlaws out to defend.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know anything about the sim, so
Yeah,
I
yeah, with the African civilizations, the outpost kind of doubles as their saloon,
oh,
so
okay.
they can train outlaws and well, just outlaws from there. Mercenaries, they have to train from the palace. It's a different building, but and their outlaws are always the same. regardless of the map, unlike other civs.
You can actually build a university with your hero. I didn't know about that.
Yep, save some villager seconds there. And 4, is that? I can't remember if Hausa gets 4 vills or 5 vills, but it looks like he's actually cancelled that and chosen to go for 5 raiders instead. The villagers were definitely a little bit greedy, so this makes sense. But
Yeah,
he
for
just
sure.
he didn't build an outpost. He's stacking all this coin. I don't know. He's not training any units because he wasn't able to finish that house. So this is kind of an awkward situation for him. And yeah, Kaiser identifying the villager trying to escape there. This is looking like a really good push from Russia.
Yeah, it could even get tougher if Kaiser decides to go for further aggression with 4 Cossacks next, perhaps, but nah. 5 Cossacks, 700 wood is just the Kaiser special, really.
Yep. And the 5 raiders now out for Ezad. Not a lot he can do with that at the moment. He could try to... Sorry, he could try to raid with that. I just realized earlier I didn't make a distinction between the Hausa Raider unit and the Desert Raider, the Outlaw unit. The Raiders don't do siege damage, but the Desert Raiders that you can get from the outpost do. Just
Okay.
a small correction to myself earlier.
So Kaiser's gonna have some shreddeds now. And Ezad is going for 4 villagers. So both going quite
Yeah.
greedy for the follow-up.
Also training some Javelin Riders behind this. So mostly focusing on cavalry for now, which makes sense against Russia.
Yeah, for sure. These guys are really strong versus Cav, especially once they get a bunch of upgrades in.
Yeah, they're quite good. Ooh, the Raiders are gonna get caught here, though.
Yeah. Gonna take some damage from the infantry and the blockhouses.
Is it just me, or is it, like, impossible to tell where you can walk across this river?
Technically, you're supposed to be able to cross on that bottom part, but
I guess most of the river is crossable, and then it's just a little bit of a brighter blue where you can't cross.
yeah, it's like visually you would say yeah I can cross there, but if you look at the minimap, you shouldn't be able to. So I don't know, it's really confusing.
Yeah. But maybe Ezad thought that he was able to cross down on the bottom there, because normally when there's no cliff near the crossing, so there was like no cliff on that southern part, so maybe he thought like, oh yeah, I can cross there, but nope.
Yeah.
And this raid may be ill-timed with the push coming from Kaiser here.
Yeah, so one player's gonna look to push the other player's base, and the other one is going for a counter raid at the same time. Should be a good thing for Hausa though, because he's not gonna get idled that much, and looks like he went for the fort now.
Yeah, we didn't see what he aged with. He must have aged with the Hausa, which lets you train. He can train a wagon basically from his town center that he can use to build palaces or universities and even town centers, I believe, but not until the 3rd age. So that palace will definitely help him defend. He'll also be able to spend any extra influence he gets from all this livestock.
Yeah, this fort is taking forever to build though.
Yeah, I believe it takes 60 seconds almost with the wagon.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna trade some units.
Yeah, getting snared, but ultimately I think was probably a roughly equal trade, maybe even slightly better for Ezad in that situation.
Yeah, for sure. 700 coin coming in, and he's taking a lot of resources, so he's got a few Javelin Riders in queue, just in case, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see an age up coming in from Ezad. He's got a really solid defensive structure now. He's got the war camp, he's got the fort, and the town center behind that. It's going to be really hard for Russia to push into that, but this has been massing, so he's got a solid army now. So we'll see what he decides to do.
yeah, his army looks really good. And Ezad really doesn't have a good answer to the Musketeers right now. Like, he has Raiders and Javelin Riders, which, I mean, again, Javelin Riders can do okay against muskets, I guess, but I don't think he has nearly enough of them. So we'll see if he's able to defend this. The Palace is definitely going to help. It's not a lot of damage, but it definitely is there.
I mean, yeah, 30 damage, you can just straight ahead kill them relatively quickly, but
With one area, yeah.
yeah.
But, yeah, it's not a lot by itself. Kind of need other units around to help support it. And yeah, Kaiser's not afraid. Just gonna take that down. Boyar's coming in behind this. That'll be strengthening those Cossacks and those Strelets. And Ezad maybe trying to pick a fight now. Or at least try to buy some time for that palace.
Yeah, he's not quite inching up. He's a little bit short on food as well, so...
Yeah. And you almost think maybe he might need to abandon the idea of aging here. With that palace going down, like, he just doesn't have any units. He needs to get some units, just buy some food and age, or start spending the resources on units, but...
Yeah, he's gonna buy the food. He's got 500 influence. I don't know if that's worth it to send the Leafy Knights at this point, but should be an option. But yeah, Kaiser's got the upper hand now. Doing a lot of damage, idling pretty much the entire Hausa economy.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks like he had actually used the export for a moment there on the tech at the university. Lets you age faster, costs 450 influence, but looks like he's now cancelled that to, yeah, send the Lafidi Knights, as you were mentioning. And the Lafidi are really strong against Russia. They're definitely going to be the unit he needs here, but this age up is just going to take such a long time. The Lafidis are going to have age 2 stats. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to hold this push. This is looking really scary for him.
Yeah, it's not gonna get any better. I mean, Kaiser has no intention of aging just yet and keep massing units. And meanwhile, Ezad has been idle quite a lot. So yeah, the longer he waits, the more units Russia is gonna have. The university is gonna go down.
Yeah, there is a second university on the back at least, so he's not going to be maybe too concerned about losing that one, but it is going to be 160 XP going over to Kaiser. The Lafidi Knights are out, but I think that 5 Lafidi Knights and 10 Javelin Riders are probably not enough to kill this army. Villagers are going to die, and yeah, this is looking quite scary.
Quite tough, yeah. And yeah, it looks like he's resigned in that position.
Yeah, just taking a really big risk with that age up and just not paying off.
Что? Приказ?
Yeah, I can see he's been idled quite a lot early on as well, with that pressure from the 5 initial Cossacks in the muskets. For Kaiserklein and yeah, I mean, he's just not getting that many units out, and yeah, going for that age up in that position was really risky.
Yeah, so that's going to be a quick 2-0 lead from Kaiser. I don't think he really felt uncomfortable in either of these two games yet, so yeah, it's going to be on Ezad to try and change things up in the third game. You think it's time for him to go back to his trusty India?
So he has to pick first, right? Let's see what map is that actually. And yeah, I was about to say either India or Japan should be what Ezad will pick, and yeah, it looks like he's going for the Japanese civilization, and Kaiser's just going Germans.
Yep, Japan also a good option against Kaiserklein in particular. Kaiser does not like playing against those Asian civs. We'll see though. I mean, Kaiser, like, he's not a fan of Japan, but he definitely understands more or less what to do against it. And I think something we can probably expect from him is like maybe a tower rush and then into like some kind of stagecoach follow up or an age up. 100 wood potentially an option for him as well. That's a nice treasure. Early 3 black bears.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Could mine some gold and try to buy 100, get a trading post up as well, but that'd be
You don't
quite
even
greedy.
need to mine. You don't even need to mine. You can just sell 100 food and buy, right?
Oh yeah, can do that as well.
So he might choose to do that. It would potentially slow down his age up a bit, but I mean it might be worth it, especially if he happens to find a food treasure nearby as well.
Does he have any spottages yet? There's some coin, more wood over here. There's
Wood
60 wood
treasures.
as well.
He might just not do that and maybe just collect more of these wood treasures to get that trading post. Did he not even use a crack shot on this treasure? I wasn't paying attention. If not, he might be able to go for this 2 lion treasure pretty easily.
I'm pretty sure he used it. I only lost an HP for 3 black bears, and he picked it up quite quickly overall.
Oh, that's a coin treasure he could also get though. Use that to buy some wood.
Okay, it's getting
That's
really
the perfect
interesting.
amount too, actually.
Yeah, it's 75. So what is Ezad up to? He went for the market. Seems like he likes to go for that opening nowadays since Japan started with the extra gold crate. And looks like he's gonna work on this 80 wood treasure as well.
Yep, gonna be the 2 villager shipment. So yeah, not too greedy. Definitely respecting the possibility of a tower rush from Kaiser. I think it seems like the last few years, Heavenly Kami has definitely kind of become a more niche strategy with Japan. People tend to go for 2 villagers or 3 boats or even 300 wood a lot more frequently now.
Yeah, every time I go Kami with Japan, I never win, except versus Dutch maybe.
Yeah, it's
But yeah,
definitely a lot more situational now. Having that early tempo, the ability to defend or play more aggressively is just turns out to be a little bit of the better choice most of the time.
yeah, right. And Casey's aging with 16 villages, so cutting a villager there. I think it was idleless. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Gangsa coming in as well.
It wasn't quite idleless. He had a villager in queue for about 5 or 6 seconds, and then he decided to cancel it to get this age up. So not quite idleless, but I mean pretty close.
Okay. And he's going for the Toriate. Interesting. He's been playing that a lot recently.
Yeah, Torii Gates is also something we've seen getting more and more popular with Japan in the last couple of years. And yeah, I wonder what he'll do
Wow.
with that.
125 wood. That's just huge.
Yeah, that's really nice for Japan. It's just a free shrine.
Yeah, could also go for a consulate if he wants to, or get more market upgrades in transition. We'll see what he decides to go for. I mean, consulate is just not that good without the Toshugu, but I see. Ooh, trading post going up for Kaiser, but this is gonna be really close. His hero is quite low HP.
I think he can run away and get the age up in time to get the 100 HP to finish that probably. Ooh, maybe not. Okay, finishes it just before dying, so that's a bit lucky.
I mean, that's just the difference, you know. Like rank 1 player knows this kind of
He
stuff.
100% fully calculated. Definitely knew that he was gonna die 1 millisecond after completing the trading post. Yeah.
Yep, for
He
sure.
said maybe could have. He said maybe could have even stuck around there for the revival of the hero and killed it again, but I guess with no snare, that's a little bit harder. But yeah, for barracks coming out for Kaiser, it's going to be 5 pikes as the first few units of choice, and those are probably going to go straight up towards that shrine to siege that down.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising. It's gonna try to like utilize that slightly faster age up into sneaking in a batch of pikes before mixing crossbows and try to get some value out of it. Seizing a shrine, maybe 2. And looks like Ezad is not going for the most all-in strategy possible. He's gonna go 600 wood first. Gonna drop that barracks with the wagon. And
Ezad
looks
doesn't
like
he doesn't know about the barracks till he's about to discover it.
yeah, just gonna walk straight under it. And he's gonna see the pikes now, and I feel like he could cancel these full VS to go for something more aggressive and try to use the fact that Kaiser's not going full crossbow into actually, catching a better batch of crossbow and try to snowball from there. It's definitely something you can do, but not going for the more greedy option. Not gonna cancel the VS.
Yeah, this is a kind of like strange hybrid of strategies where you go Tory Gates, and then you're not making villagers from your town center. You're prioritizing the extra Ashy, but you're also sending 4 vills. I don't know. I think this probably would have been better with the Shugu Shrine, but we'll see. I mean, being greedy with Japan has paid off before, regardless of what you age with. We'll see if it works out.
Yeah, it looks like he's not gonna contest the pikes just yet. Could perhaps get a volley on these 2 Ulans. Gonna be happy about like shrining as far away as possible, and in these really tough corner to check.
Yeah, it's hard for Kaiser to siege both sides of the map at the same time, for sure.
Okay, 600 wood after Fulvius, and I quite like that decision. It's just really flexible. You could build up like a second military building with that, get more Yumis out as well, and more shrines as you're losing some. And what this guy's doing meanwhile, just keep massing some crossbows. He's gonna go for a second trading post. Still have a large
Second
amount of
barracks?
wood. Oh yeah,
Second barracks coming up as well, so looks like he's kind of fully committing to H2 for now. 700 wood on the way, or 600 wood, sorry. And he's just going to be going for Stagecoach and double X crossbow for now, probably.
Yeah, definitely a play. Could delay any Fortress Age play for a while if you have Stagecoach behind it, because you're gonna outmass Japan so much with these cheap units. Looks like both players are gonna trade some units.
Yeah, I think Kaiser's got to be pretty happy about that trade, though. Anytime you can trade off like an equivalent number of crossbow for an equivalent number of Yumi, you can't complain.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he's gonna get a shrine down as well. At least Ezad knows that Kaiser has no intention to age just yet, and in the long run, Japanese units will outperform and outclass the German ones, and especially if Kaiser is going for Stagecoach now, could give Ezad some kind of window to do some damage, like try to clean the army and perhaps siege one of the barracks.
Normally I would agree that this the Stagecoach could give him a timing, but he's just got more units than Ezad, and Ezad has chosen to ship 4 villagers a second time rather than units or 600 coin or anything like that. So he's not going to really be able to get out the units he needs to maybe punish this Stagecoach.
Yeah, he's training a bunch of units. There's going to be a few Ashes on the way, a few Nagis as well. Maybe get a 4th one and a few clubs as well. But all in all, and
like...
I feel like Kaiser is trying to just like go for the bait, like don't show anything, and he's got 8 rows on the way. He's gonna get a full batch of crossbow from these 2 barracks as well.
Yeah, and he's just gonna have a better army and soon a better economy behind it with that 4th trading post going down as well.
Wow, Stagecoach on the way as well. And he's got 7 Ulans as well, and they're not the greatest units, obviously, but especially if they're on top of the Yumis like this, you get a really good trade, and the Nagi is being caught by the pikes. And this is just going to be a cleanup for Germany.
It's not the positioning that Ezad wants. The whole army is gonna get cleaned up. Kaiser losing almost nothing in this fight. And yeah, wow, that's gonna be 3-0 for Kaiserklein in the finals. Really just showing why he's rank 1 and ahead of the next closest person by over, 150 points. Just very, very clean games. Really, like, no risk of losing at any point.
Yeah, just really the comfort zone for Kaiser. French, Russia, Germany, going for really solid strats overall. And yeah, perhaps a day off for Ezad as well, because he's been playing really well during the tournament, and perhaps not delivering his best performance on that specific series. But yeah, gonna be a quick trio for Kaiser, and gonna win the 1v1 Sub Cup Grand Final.
Yeah, so congratulations to Kaiser. That's going to give him a head start on acquiring the points he needs to get to the playoffs for the Grand Tour. Ezad going to get a good number of points himself for getting second place. And we'll see. Maybe these players will match each other again in a future tournament, and maybe Ezad can get his revenge. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm not sure. I don't think we have more intel on what's going to be the next tournament format for this ESA Grand Tour Season 3. But yeah, as soon as we get more info, they'll put that on the ESAC website. And yeah, so congrats, Kaiser, for that tournament win. And I think that's going to be it for us.